What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to connect your database to your Vibecode app. In this video, we're going to be using Supabase, but you can use Firebase or whatever else you prefer. And so we're going to take our Firebase DB and connect it to Vibecode. And what a database allows you to do is for different people to store things. And so, for example, if someone posts something in my Vibecode app, it would go to my database. And then when I go to the Vibecode app, it will show what the other person said. And that was just one example. So you can store photos, text, videos. You can give people certain permissions in the database. There's a lot you can do, and it's a super powerful extension to your Vibecode app. There's a couple different ways you can do it. So heading over to Supabase, you can see that I have no tables. And from here, depending on how technical you are, you can create your own tables. What we're going to do here is just make AI do it. And I know Supabase has their own AI assistant, but we're going to head over to ChatGPT, and I'll show you why in just a second. And once you're in ChatGPT, you're going to want to explain what you want the app to do and like what features you have, what do you want to store, and then ask it to create tables in SQL. And that's basically just the coding language used to create these tables. And so let's go ahead and do that. And so I've written out my prompt in ChatGPT, and I've described what my app does. So I said, create some tables for my app that will use Supabase, give it to me in SQL. My app is an announcement board. People can post their announcements. In the announcements, there's title, priority, date, time, and content. And then auth is set up. I did a previous video on that. You should check it out. And so I also have my account here as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and send that. Okay, it looks like ChatGPT is typing out the tables in SQL, and you don't really have to know what any of this means, although it is good to know. We're just going to trust it and just copy. And then let's head over back to Supabase. And then you're going to want to go over to SQL Editor, hit this plus icon right here, and create a new snippet. And then all you're going to do is just Command V, paste the entire SQL into Supabase, and hit this run icon. Hopefully there's no errors, and there shouldn't be. Yeah, success. Now if we go back to our table view, you can see that it created an announcement table with the ID of each announcement, the user ID, which would be the authenticated users, title, priority, content, and then the published date. And then you can also see it in this table editor as well. And the reason we did this in ChatGPT is because it has these helpful comments and then also these policies for the tables. You don't have to know what this means. It's essentially just rules that the database has to follow. And that's useful because you can copy this right here again, open up the Vibecode app and say, please add database integration to this app. I've created the tables in Supabase using the same project as auth. Please search for more docs if you need to. And then you're going to paste that SQL that ChatGPT gave you into the app. All right, now let's send that and wait for Vibecode to create that. And in case you missed the last video, we essentially just gave Vibecode my project API key and Supabase URL, and so it already has that information, so it's going to use it again here to create the database integration. And just to recap on what we've done so far, so we went into Supabase, that was the first one, and then for the second one we went into ChatGPT and described the app, asked it to create tables for Supabase and give it to you in SQL. And then the third thing we did was go to Supabase, paste that SQL into Supabase, and that created the tables. And then the fourth thing we did is paste that SQL from ChatGPT into the Vibecode app, and now it's creating that database connection. Okay, it looks like the Vibecode app is done, so let's refresh. Okay, cool, no announcements. That is true because we haven't posted anything. I see some UI errors here that we can definitely fix later. Let's just test it out. Who want to get coffee? All right, let's post that. Okay, looks like it's posted. And so let's hit refresh. Okay, it's still there. Nice. Let's check Supabase to see if it made it to the table. Oh, I see something. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So it has the ID of the post itself, my user ID, my title, coffee, priority normal, who want to get coffee, and then the publish date right here. And I can see some UI improvements that I'm going to make right now. And the Vibecode app will just do it for me. Okay, cool. So I've asked it to make some simple UI changes. And let's see what happens if I delete it. Cool, looks like it's deleted. Yep, deletes it from the table as well. Right here, you saw that. And let's say you didn't want that. Let's say you just wanted to mark it as deleted and keep all the announcements there. You can easily do that by just asking ChatGPT again to add more changes to the table and then giving those changes to the Vibecode app. And then it will make those changes accordingly and everything will work as you want it. Okay, what I have here is two different phones. So this is phone A on the left side. You can see that the email is mzulali0 and on the right is Muhammad Zulali. And so these are two different Vibecode accounts, two different accounts signing into this announcement board. And so I'm going to sign in on phone number B. Cool. And then as you can see, different emails. And then what I want to do is post one on account A and see if it shows up on account B, and then post one on account B and see if it shows up on account A. And this way it would simulate sort of like a real interaction on the app where two different people are posting and they can both see their own posts. And so on account A, let's make a post. I can see that it fixed the UI errors that I told it to. Okay, so I've made a very critical error that would be very scary to get on your phone, and it might even stain your pants. And so I'm going to send this on account A, post, cool. Now then let's refresh account number B. Yep, there it is. And so now these two different accounts can talk to each other with the database. And then if we go back to Supabase and we can see, yep, there is our post, who leaked our code base. And then let's try that again by making a post on account B. And so this is what account B could post to the board, a completely different account, and then they post it. And then account A would get this post right here. I just leaked our code base. And again, if you wanted to make it so it shows who sent the announcement, we can easily do that. And I'll even show you right now. So I'm going to head over back to ChatGPT. We can ask it to create another SQL script to add the email that sent the post. I'm typing. And so I said, now please give me a script that will add an email from the user to the table, SQL, and then also mention that I already applied the table. So I'm going to go ahead and send that. Okay, so it looks like it gave me this SQL script, which will just add the email to the table. And so heading back over to the SQL editor, let's just make a new snippet and paste that in and hit run. Success, no rows returned. Let's head over to the table again and see the changes. Okay, nice. So it has the email address of who posted it. And now our database stores everything we need and now stores who made the post. And so now we have to go back to Vibecode, tell it to make these changes. And so we can just head over and then paste that new script from ChatGPT that it just gave us into here and explain really what happened. Okay, cool. So after posting in that SQL snippet, I just basically told it that I added a table with the email address and then to also get that email address the same way as already pulling in the post because it did that phenomenally. And so I'm going to go ahead and send that and wait for the changes. Okay, looks like it's done updating. So we're just going to go ahead and refresh. Yep. Okay, now it shows the exact email of who posted it, and so that's awesome. And then this is on the old version, so let's refresh this as well. Cool, yeah, shows both the emails. And so let's make another post on this one. Okay, so I've made this new post. Let's post that. Awesome. And then looking over to our app on the right on account B, it also shows up as well with the right email. If you can see, that's the same email. And so cool. Now we've added auth and database to our Vibecode app with only using the agent that can be found inside here. And you can expand this to a lot of different things. You can have a messaging app now. You can store pictures, photos, as I said, and you can make changes to all of that super easily. And so, yeah, I hope you guys found that informative. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys build.